Okay. This is the Commissioner meeting of March 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Sussex County Administrative Center, Commissioner Meeting Room, 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Carney?
Here.
Deputy Director DeGroot?
Here.
Commissioner Henderson?
Here.
Commissioner Silverthorne?
Here.
Director Space?
Here. Moment of silence and salute to the flag. This evening, we will have a moment of silence for Sussex County employee retiree Michelle Metzger, who passed away on Sunday, March 8th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Number 4, public statement. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice, as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, PL 1975, has been made by regular mail and email, such notice being submitted on January 6th, 2026, from the Administrative Center of the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald, Star Ledger, Strauss News, and is also posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for Public Announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with said act. At this time, please mute all electronic devices. Number 5, approval of agenda. There will be an addition to the agenda for approval of minutes for item 11. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Henderson, a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Number 6, proclamations, certificates, and presentations. Tonight, we have a presentation from Chief George O. Lott, Ogdensburg VFW Post 10152. Also presenting with Chief Lott will be Commander Stephen L. Davis Jr. and Senior Post Trustee Thomas Hart Sr. You gentlemen would like to come up?
Evening. On behalf of our post, we would like to thank Clerk of the Board Linda Miller, Administrator Christina Marks, and Board Director Jill Space for making the necessary arrangements for our presentation this evening. Sussex County leadership has always advocated for veterans, and we know that that will always be the case. Words alone cannot begin to express our appreciation for your continued commitment. With me this evening, as you already said, is our Post Commander Stephen L. Davis Jr. and our Senior Post Trustee Thomas J. Hart Sr. This year marks 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. On 4 July 2026, America will celebrate 250 years of that hard-fought struggle for the freedoms that we enjoy today. 56 signers of that document were heroes and absolutely fearless. Over our 250 years of existence, millions of men and women have raised their hands and sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States from all her enemies, foreign and domestic. The men and women who have worn the uniform have served with unwavering dedication and distinction. We will always remember and honor each and every one of those heroes, especially those who have paid for our freedom with their lives. Many civilians have also paid that high price as well. They will also be forever honored and always remembered. As veterans, service to our country and dedication to our values is what makes a veteran a veteran. In honor and remembrance of our 250th anniversary, the Lieutenant Robert A. Madden, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 10152 of Ogdensburg, would like to present to the Sussex County Board of Commissioners a flag which commemorates the 250 years of the birth of the greatest nation that the world has ever seen. We invite the Board Director and Deputy Director to accept this flag on behalf of the citizens of Sussex County. The Veterans of Foreign Wars are still serving.
This is quite an honor. Thank you, and thank you for your service. This is great. Can we get a picture of the board with you?
You come,
Wonderful. We would love it.
please.
All right.
They're raising it that high for.
George, we need you to share.
I tried, he won't let me. I have to go up that high so I get over the mic.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
An honor. Thank you so much. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you so much. That was nice. Nice way to start the meeting. Okay. Number 7, there is no public hearing. Number 8, public session from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make a comment of 3 minutes or less regarding an agenda item. Please line up at the microphone and state your name, municipality, and agenda topic for the record. Can I get a motion to open the floor for public comment?
So moved.
Okay, Deputy Director DeGroot, in a second.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Carney, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose, abstain. Okay, the floor is open for public comment on agenda topics only. Thank you.
Good evening, Ken Collins, Andover Township, regarding agenda item 13A, appointment of Commissioner Jack DeGroot as the county representative to the Lake Musconetcong Regional Planning Board. This board consists of members from Byram, Stanhope, Netcong, Roxbury, and Sussex County. Its purpose is to recommend and implement programs to maintain and improve the quality of the Lake Musconetcong watershed areas. I think Jack is a caring and gracious person, and I think he'll be a good fit for this job. Immediately adjacent to Lake Musconetcong, literally 150 yards from the lake, is the Port Morris Train Depot. Another 150 yards away on the other side of those train tracks is the warehouse property that Immigration and Customs Enforcement intends to convert into a federal detention center for illegal aliens. This conversion demands a much higher water draw than is currently available or than was planned for a warehouse with a small office for 50. Same with sewage. The proposed facility is not in alignment with the Lake Musconetcong Regional Planning Board's plans and guidance. Roxbury opposes this facility in their town. Jack, will you do the right thing? Will you stand with Roxbury and do all you can to oppose this poorly conceived idea for a federal detention center? Will you stand with your people or your president? It's time to choose. Will you be a uniter or a divider? Our leadership in Trenton, Dawn Fantasia, has chosen to take a divisive role in this matter, with Fantasia ranting on social media that she is ideologically opposed to the views of her constituents who also oppose this facility, blaming the need for it on the leftists now opposing it. Fantasia acknowledges that water and sewage limitations should stop this facility from being implemented by ICE, but rather than unite opposition, she tries to divide it. It is my hope that in your capacity, Jack, on this board, you can put partisan politics aside and always ask yourself, what would Jesus do? May the Lord guide you in your decision-making processes.
Thank you.
Kathy Brennan, Hampton Township. I also wanted to speak about 13A. And to make it short, basically, I have pretty much the same concerns. We know that there are going to be major problems if the detention center is open. There will be problems with wastewater management, water quality, and it's just not the right fit. So I, again, would be someone else who would ask you to fight with Roxbury and all the other people that are trying to fight this in the county, the state, and do the right thing and say no to this detention center. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to close the floor for public comment?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Henderson, and a second? Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain. Okay, number 9, Commissioner's comments. We'll start with Commissioner Silverthorne.
I attended several of my municipalities that I liaison for, Greene, Branchville, and I stepped out. I'm following Commissioner Henderson's lead, and I'm going to just stop into some of the other towns I'm not as familiar with. This town I actually am familiar with because I have a vested interest in checking in on them because we worked on some court projects when I was in Frankfurt. So I stopped into Hampton last night and sat through their meeting, which was a very enjoyable meeting compared to some of the ones I've been to lately. A couple of chamber breakfasts, St. Patrick's Parade, and I'm sorry if I climb up all the easy stuff that everybody else went to. So yeah. Crime Stoppers, and today we met with Congressman Gottheimer at the Sussex County Community College to go over a few things and have a little tour with him. And also Director Space was there and Commissioner Henderson. And tomorrow we have a Zoom meeting that should be the final step, which came up at the meeting today, the final step in getting the county film ready certified. So hopefully that'll finish that up. And then lastly, from the library, we have the 4th Annual Autism Resource Fair. This is going to be held on Saturday, April 25th from 12 to 3. It's going to be at the main library in Frankfurt. The event is free and open to everybody. The fair connects parents, teachers, professionals, and local organizations that provide services and support for individuals who are on the autism spectrum and their families in Sussex County. Once again, it's Saturday the 25th from 12 to 3 at the main library in Frankfurt. Any more details that you might want, you can pick it up on the website at sussexcountylibrary.org/autism or 973-948-3660. And that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Henderson.
Okay, on February 27th, I attended the HOPACON Senior Packet Program presented by Rutgers Service. There were a total of 13, including myself. They were provided with a PowerPoint presentation along with a question and answer time. At the end of the program, each senior was presented with 2 pots and green bean seeds to start their season. And as any good senior myself, I brought you all back a Jack and the Beanstalk packet for you all to get your start on planting your green beans. Your Jack and the Beanstalk green beans. Also on February 27th, I attended the Sussex County Open Space Zoom meeting. Several topics were discussed, including the Trail Program grant available for 2026. It was great to hear several municipalities have taken an interest in applying for these grants. On March 2nd, I attended the Hamburg Borough Council meeting as their liaison. There's a lot of exciting events happening in Hamburg. Check their website for additional information. And Hamburg, as every other municipality, is actively working on their 2026 budget. On March 3rd, I attended the Lafayette Township meeting as their liaison. As with other municipalities, the cost of rising health insurance is going to have a ripple effect on all budgets this year. Lafayette is also actively planning for the 250th anniversary with several events planned. On March 4th, I attended Jersey First Trivia event on the country's 250th anniversary questions. Needless to say, I did not carry a trophy back to put in the county display case. On March 5th, I attended the Frankfurt Lafayette Branchville Economic Development Breakfast along with Commissioner Silverthorne. It's great to see our local businesses working hand in hand. On March 6th, I had the honor of judging 4-H public presentations over 150 youth were registered to participate over 3 nights of judging. I'm a proud member myself of 4-H from the age of 9 to 19 in the horse program and still hold a passion for the opportunities 4-H has given me. This is only a small token of what I can give back to the youth that are involved in the program. On March 7th, along with my fellow commissioners, we attended the Newton St. Patrick Parade. I parked here in the parking lot and walked Spring Street at 10:15 a.m., and the weather was certainly questionable. There were only a few spectators along the route. At 11 a.m., the parade kicked off, and the streets were lined with 3 or 4 people abreast on the sidewalks the entire length of the route. I'd just like to say Newton knows how to host a parade. Very well done, and thank you to all that made it a tremendous success. On March 9th, I attended the Newton Council meeting as their liaison. Like other towns, affordable housing is a topic of concern. Newton Council is actively looking for ways to bring business into the area. I'm hoping we as a board support Newton any way possible as they are our county seat. On March 10th, I, along with Commissioner Silverthorne, we attended the chamber breakfast. As I always mention, it's a fantastic way to promote your local business. Also on March 10th, I attended the Stanhope meeting. I had stated during my campaign that I would attend every municipality meeting to see what's going on in their town. The meeting was run by Mayor Ronco, the agenda was long, and the meeting was completed in 20 minutes. Finally, today, Commissioner Space, Silverthorne, and I attended a meeting at the County College with Congressman Josh Gottheimer. A tour was given by Dr. Homer and his staff, pointing out the great opportunities and program available here at our Sussex County College. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Carney.
Thank you. It's loan program update. 25-26 season has included activations to 26 million forms. Response has included upwards of 23,200 hours of staff time allocated to operating equipment and management program 67 filings. Application of approximately 22,700 tons of de-icing salt and 28,000 gallons of liquid de-icing agent. The total county investment in the winter response program for labor, equipment, and materials is approaching $4.3 million. The board recognizes and appreciates the long hours and dedication of the Public Works team, along with the county support staff involved in providing an exemplary public service in a highly professional and capable manner. This, again, we sometimes leave out, or maybe I guess I leave out, facilities as well, and fleet. So without them, we don't have what we have. We have fleet that takes care of the plows and trucks when they go down in the bad weather, staying up all night as well. And facilities, they have their share of time and carry. See you in the back. Construction for X43, Visual Engineering received 6 bids for replacement of Sussex County Bridge X43. This bridge is located in County Route 651 in Orange Township. Bids are currently being reviewed. The division anticipates a recommendation the board will be ready for commissioners' consideration. Sorry, I didn't have my mic on. Consideration during the March 25th commissioner meeting. If awarded, construction is anticipated to begin later this year. Work will be completed under a full closure and detour. Additional information will be made available concurrently with an award of contract for the project. Farmland Preservation Plan. The Sussex County Agricultural Development Board is in the final stages of developing an updated Farmland Preservation Plan. The County Agricultural Development Board authorized submittal of the final draft plan to the State Agricultural Development Committee for review and comment. Plan is anticipated to be adopted by the Sussex County Agricultural Development Board during its meeting on April 20th and the Sussex County Planning Board during its meeting on May 4th and presented to the Commissioner Board's consideration during our meeting on June 10th. Anyone interested in getting more information on the plan or farmland preservation program is invited to attend any public meetings. Additionally, the Sussex County Planning Board can be reached at 973-579-0500. 4 seasons of agricultural web application. The Division of Planning is working with Sussex County Agricultural Development Board to update the 4 season of agricultural interactive web application. The application easily connects people seeking farm fresh products and agricultural experiences with farmers around Sussex County. Included in the application is information on the variety of farms offering local produce, pick your own experiences, local dairy products, local nurseries, local wineries and breweries, cut your own Christmas trees, and a variety of specialty offerings. Did you know that? Okay.
The application is accessible on the Sussex County website. Local farmers interested in being included in the application and encouraged to contact the Division of Planning, again at 973-579-0500. In-house construction, I dwell on this a lot because it's important that everybody knows how much construction we do in-house, which saves the taxpayer. And instead of paying the contractors, we're doing it in-house, which going around to DPW garages, they like doing this stuff. They feel sometimes that they're bored and underused. So we have a list of things I'll go over to keep them busy coming up. Staff within the Division of Public Works, the Office of Bridge and Traffic Safety, and the Office of Facilities Management, and the Division of Engineering have been preparing to restart a variety in-house construction projects. Work is expected to begin as soon as the winter weather breaks. The team is currently preparing for projects that include construction of the Public Health Pole Barn in Frankfort Township, construction of the Sheriff's Pole Barn and Modular Office in Frankfort Township, which are both ARPA funded. Construction of the, Phase 2 drainage work along Route 613 at Birch Parkway in Byram Township, drainage upgrades in County Route 605 and Sparta Stanhope Road in Byram Township, drain enhancements along Route 613 near Lake Mohawk Marina in Sparta Township, installation of signs along County Route 515 between State Route 23 and State Route 94, associated with modifications to the County Route 515 speed limits approved last year, and final site work at Bridge X20 on Berry Road in Wanted Township. Okay. I have a report from District 24, so I'll brief you on a couple. I'm not going to go into the budget of our new governor. If you pay attention, it's 60.7 billion, up 1.9 billion. I'll save you the rhetoric. If you want to, feel free to look that up. You could find it anywhere. U.S. Hostage and Wrongful Detainee Day in New Jersey. In early January, former Governor Phil Murphy signed a bipartisan resolution sponsored by Senator Parker Space and Assemblyman Mike Ganamore, designated March 9th of each year as U.S. Hostage and Wrongful Detainee Day in New Jersey. The joint resolution, AJR-231/SJR-171, now law, also requests that New Jersey annually display the hostage and wrongful detainee flag at the state capitol and encourages state and local government entities to fly the flag at their respectful buildings in honor of those unjustly held abroad. New Jersey changes guardianship rules. New Jersey changes guardianship rules after District 24 introduces and gets an A3893 and Senate S2332 signed into law. The bill, sponsored by Assemblyman Ganamore, allows parents of children with developmental disabilities to apply for guardianship up to 180 days before they turn 18 years old. The bill was previously championed by former Senator Steve Orho and demonstrated a long-term effort to make this important initiative come to fruition. And then Woodlands Protection Fund, Dawn Fantasia bill that protects woodlands is now law. A bill that protects privately owned woodlands from creeping overdevelopment was signed into law earlier in January. The law S699 and A682, sponsored by Assemblywoman Fantasia and supported by various state environmental groups, establishes a Woodlands Protection Fund to acquire development easements on privately owned woodlands. And then finally, I attended the NJAC quarterly Northern County meeting this past Friday. We all got together, the northern counties got together to kind of do a roundtable and go over our issues and I guess ideas of whatnot. The biggest issue, as I think we keep harping on, is insurance throughout the state and how budgets are going up. It's a tough feat that we're all dealing with, but we'll get through it one way or another. And then on October 23rd, for all the commissioners, we're going to be hosting the next NJAC quarterly meeting. That'll be held at Crystal Springs, and everybody will be invited to that one. It should be a good event. That's all I have.
Deputy Director DeGroot.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Beginning with Sussex County Community College, over the past month, I've been working with Dean Fruge on the college's Hoop House project, which had stalled following a contractor withdrawal. Through our discussions, I connected the college with Frank Minch, Director of Natural Resources at New Jersey Department of Agriculture, who helped coordinate assistance from Mercer County Community College to help install the final covering. This project is at the student farm on 206, and at this point, the frame, front and rear walls, and the structural bracings have all been installed. The college is now working to complete the final covering so the hoop house can be operational for the upcoming season. Moving on, alongside Commissioner Director Space, Deputy County Administrator Lorraine Hentz, Ken, and Rayanne, planning has continued for Sussex County's collaborative celebration of America's 250th anniversary. A recent monthly meeting at the fairgrounds finalized key logistics, and the group also met with local historian Wayne McCabe, who will provide 2 educational presentations and help recruit artisans and historical reenactors to bring the Revolutionary era to life. Special thanks to Wayne for his willingness to contribute to the event. I have also contacted Dr. Muir of the History Department at Sussex County Community College to identify any faculty or students interested in serving as additional presenters. I want to extend my appreciation to President Corey Homer for his help and support in these efforts. Additionally, at this month's NJTPA board meeting, I was honored to be named Vice Chair of the Planning and Economic Development Committee. The committee oversees regional and corridor-based planning initiatives, including updates to the Regional Transportation Plan and work related to the Regional Plan for Sustainable Development. It also reviews and approves funding of the Unified Planning Work Program, which supports planning activities, future project development, and sub-regional transportation studies. I want to thank the NJTPA staff and the Executive Committee for the opportunity, and thank Jesus. Aside from this, these past 2 weeks also included several wonderful community events. I joined the Sussex Fire Department for their annual venison dinner and participated in Read Across America Week by reading to students in Wantage's Head Start and Early Head Start programs. Thank you to Nor Westcap for the invitation to read. Additionally, alongside my fellow commissioners, it was an honor to march in the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Lastly, I want to make sure to congratulate the talented students and dedicated faculty of Sussex County Technical Schools Drama Club for their outstanding spring production of The Little Mermaid. The performance was excellent and reflected their tremendous effort, creativity, and the passion that went bringing that show into life. They did an excellent job. That's all I have. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Division of Health, Office of Public Health Nursing. A women's health screening clinic will be held on Thursday, March 26, 2026, from 4:30 to 7:30 at the Office of Public Health Nursing, 201 Wheatsworth Road, Hamburg. This clinic offers a variety of health screenings and education. This service is free to uninsured and underinsured county residents who qualify for the New Jersey Cancer Education and Early Detection Program, NJCED. To make an appointment, call the Office of Public Health Nursing at 973-579-0570, extension 1246. Division of Health, Communicable Diseases, Influenza, and Respiratory Illness. According to the New Jersey Department of Health Respiratory Illness Surveillance Report for the week ending in February 21st, 2026, influenza activity remains elevated statewide. The number of influenza cases, emergency department visits, outpatient provider visits, and test positivity have all increased compared to previous weeks this season. Hospitalizations continue to predominantly occur among persons 65 years and older. Influenza A activity continues to decrease, while influenza B is steadily increasing, similar to trends observed in most areas of the county. Emergency department visits and hospitalizations due to RSV increased this week, with admissions predominantly among persons aged 0 to 4 and those 65 and older. RSV test positivity remains elevated. Emergency department visits and hospital admissions for COVID-19 increased compared to the previous week. However, hospital admissions remain lower than they were at this time last year and continue to primarily affect individuals aged 65 and older. The predominant circulating variant remains the Omicron XFG. Respiratory outbreaks recently reported in long-term care facilities were attributed to influenza, COVID-19, and RSV, while outbreaks reported in the schools were due to influenza and RSV. Test positivity for seasonal coronavirus remains elevated and is higher than at this time last year. There's also been recent increases in test positivity for human metanorovirus. No RSV or influenza outbreaks were reported in Sussex County during the most recent reporting week. Infectious illnesses. A total of 211 cases of communicable and tick-borne illnesses were reported in February 2026, which represents an increase from the 197 cases reported in 2025. The data on infectious illness shows that there were no deaths reported in February 2026, which remains the same as reported deaths in 2025. Measles. As of February 2026, the CDC has reported 1,136 confirmed measles cases across 28 jurisdictions. As of March 2nd, 2026, there are no confirmed cases in Sussex County. The most effective way to prevent measles is through vaccination. Tick-borne illnesses. There were 38 cases of tick-borne illnesses, anaplasmosis, and Lyme's disease reported in February 2026, which is a slight decrease from the 40 documented cases in February 2025. Probably because of all that snow. The average absenteeism rate for schools due to influenza-like illness in February 2026 was 7.45%. The figure decreased from the average absentee rate of 8.72 for recorded in February 2025. There were 4 outbreaks reported in February 2026, which is a slight decrease from the 5 outbreaks reported in February 2025. And like Deputy Director DeGroot said, we're full-blown in the planning stages for the 250th anniversary celebration. And we got notice today that the vendors are coming in. So thank you for the hard work, Deputy Director Deputy Administrator Lorraine Hentz, you know what I meant. And of course, they reported on the meeting that we had at the college today, which was very good. And I have to say, in the last month, Sussex County College has hosted Congressman Gottheimer and Congressman Kane. So it's nice to see both congressmen taking the time out of their busy schedules to come to Sussex County College. And, obviously the love of reading was last week. And this morning, Commissioner Henderson and I had coffee with Ken Schwimmer, and we were talking, and the library came up again, because I like to give a shout out to the library every meeting, it seems. And he said that he was able to print a banner at the library. So another thing that the library does. And next week, Commissioner Henderson and I are going on a full tour of all our county libraries. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's all I have. Number 10, there is no consent agenda. Number 11, approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meetings that are listed? I should read them off what they are, since it wasn't added to the meeting. So the reorganization of January 1st, 2026, the regular meeting of January 14th, 2026, the regular meeting of January 28th, 2026, and the regular meeting of February 11th, 2026. And I have a motion from Commissioner Henderson, and can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Oppose, abstain. Okay, number 12, there are no ordinances. Number 13, we have the appointment of Commissioner Jack DeGroot for the Lake Musconetcong, and an appointment of Bernard Kochakowski as chairman to the Sussex County Construction Board of Appeals for 2026. Can I get a motion to adopt the resolutions A and B? Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne, and a second. I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hold on a second. Do you want to keep them together?
Yeah, I can separate them. Do you want me to separate them? I'll separate them. Okay, I'm gonna backtrack. I'm gonna make the motion myself for the appointment of Commissioner Jack DeGroot as a Sussex County representative to the Lake Musconetcong Regional Planning Board, said term to begin immediately and expire on December 31st, 2026. So I made the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Carney does a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne.
Yes.
Okay. And Resolution B. Can I get a motion to appoint Bernard Kochakowski as the chairman to the Sussex County Construction Board of Appeals for 2026?
So moved.
Okay. Commissioner Henderson, and a second.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space.
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne.
Yes.
Number 14, resolutions. Can I get a motion to adopt resolutions A through H?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner
Second.
Silverthorne, and a second with Deputy Director DeGroot. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space.
Yes.
Commissioner Carney.
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne.
Yes.
Number 15, awards of contract change orders bids. The Board of County Commissioners of the County of Sussex has reviewed the award of contract change orders bids consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that the adoption of the said resolutions is in and will further the public interest. Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution A?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Carney, and a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space?
Yes.
Commissioner Carney?
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne?
Yes.
Number 16, financials. Can I get a motion to pay Bills List A, March 11th, 2026?
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
Commissioner Henderson and Deputy Director DeGroot, seconds. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space?
Yes.
Commissioner Carney?
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to pay Bills List B of March 11th, 2026?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne, and a second.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Carney, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space?
Abstain?
Commissioner Carney?
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne?
Yes.
Resolution C. And Resolution C is governing body certification of compliance with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records and employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution C?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Henderson, and a second.
Second.
Okay, Deputy Director DeGroot, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Space?
Yes.
Commissioner Carney?
Yes.
Deputy Director DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Silverthorne?
Yes.
Okay, number 17, we have no personnel. Number 18, administrative report.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I just want to give some updates. First, regarding our feasibility study that we had discussed a few meetings ago. The bids are live for both the appraisal company and the architectural engineering firms for various upcoming county projects. However, these are the two services that the county will be utilizing in order to prepare this study. The bid opening for the architectural engineer firm is scheduled for March 24th with an anticipated award date of April 22nd. The bid opening for the appraisal firm is scheduled for April 2nd with an award date of May 13th. After both companies have been awarded, the county will then begin discussions on the scope of the study and then obtain estimated costs, which the board will then be able to review prior to awarding any project movement. Vending machines, it might sound minor, however, this might be an issue over at the courthouse because we do provide the vending machines across the way. The current provider has submitted to the county their 30-day notice that they will no longer be able to provide services. We are currently working on finding alternatives. As I said, the courthouse one is the most utilized. In our county buildings, the department heads and I have discussed alternatives. There are significant upgrades that have been completed with regards to security over at the Wheatsworth Road County facility. That began last year. For many members on the board now, you may recall that there was a grant that was actually obtained by the Department of Health and Human Services to be able to cover the cost of those upgrades. We are almost at 100% completion. The Newton Green benches. These benches were removed last year to complete repairs and reconditioning. In order to complete the upgrades and install, the county needs to order additional supplies. As the board is aware, every January, the county operates on a temporary operating budget that only provides appropriations at a level of 26.25% of the preceding year's funding. So that's at the 2025 funding. Full funding is not available until a budget is formally approved by the board. Since the 2026 budget has not been introduced, funding is limited. I know that there has been some reporting out there that the board has passed a budget or is considering a budget. That has not occurred yet. So once the budget is approved and the funding has been allocated, the county will be able to complete the project and install the benches to the green. So I do expect that to happen shortly thereafter. I do want to advise the board that there are still some stone benches available for public use when visitors are visiting the green that they can sit on. The historic courthouse HVAC system. Last year, the chiller for the historic courthouse became inoperable, and the county had to utilize temporary units to provide air conditioning to the building. There will be a resolution for consideration at our next meeting, which would provide for the purchase of a new chiller. Unfortunately, that does need to be fabricated and installed, and the anticipated turnaround time is approximately 16 weeks, so that will take us to mid-July. The county will have temporary units continuing over at the historic courthouse, and the county will provide updates to both the courthouse staff and to this board as the work is ongoing. Cybersecurity, this is a reminder that there's been an increase locally, statewide, and nationally recently in cyber attacks, especially focusing on public IT infrastructure. As you've heard in the news recently, Passaic County recently received a malware attack. Sussex County's IT department has been working diligently to ensure that our servers remain safe. This includes security upgrades and continued education to county employees. They are not often recognized, but I do want to acknowledge our Division Director, Jeff Cremando, and his staff for all of their work. This is a department that is an example of a critical function of county government that is not necessarily public-facing and should be recognized for all of their diligence and hard work. I have 2 items to discuss in executive session. There is one additional item I do want to report, and Commissioner Carney brought it up in his report, which is the winter program update with all of the snow removal. I was on a Zoom call last week with all the 21 county administrators, and unfortunately, we were advised that Warren and Sussex County were the 2 counties out of 21 in New Jersey that did not qualify for any assistance from the state from the recent snowstorms for any reimbursements. I did ask if there was an appeals process. I was told that there was a formula that was created and there was no appeal process. So unfortunately, Warren and Sussex County will not be eligible for any reimbursement to our storm operations. And that is my report.
Thank you. Director,
Yep.
I just have a question for Administrator Marks. Can we get that formula?
Yes,
It was based on the highest record snowfall, a percentage of that. And I know from like Warren County's perspective, because I was asked to look into it, like our average was like 9 inches, you needed like 18, we were way under. I don't know what your guys' average was up here, but that's why we fell under.
So 19 counties fell into that category except for the northern.
they determined that Warren and Sussex County did not. And we were originally told that it would include both winter storms, the significant one that did impact Sussex County. And we were advised that we did not qualify.
I still would like to see that. We
Yeah.
can get that. I still would like to
Yeah.
see that. I'd like to look at numbers and odd things, apparently. And just one more question too, Administrator. The benches are going back. Are we doing plastic? Do we know the seats?
Plastic, no.
Like a composite? No, it's gonna be wood again.
No, they're refurbishing it with a
What
different
we
material.
have.
I'll get the specifics from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 19, County Council report.
Anyway, a couple quick thoughts. So if you don't mind, maybe we can get back to me right
Oh,
before
sure.
we end.
Yep,
but-
that's good.
Yep.
Number 20, unfinished business. Okay, 21, new business. Okay,
That flag that we got today, which was an honor
can you push your button?
from, whatever post that was, 10152, I think it was, or maybe?
Yeah.
Ogdensburg Post, anyway. We should hang that flag up for our 250 celebration.
Absolutely.
You were thinking, I think it's, I don't know why I bother learning.
And I was also thinking we could hang it in here for
Yeah.
until then.
Yeah, for sure. That was really, really nice.
Which again, that date is Sunday, June 7th.
Yes.
Number 2022, public session from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make general comments of 3 minutes or less on non-agenda topics. Please line up at the microphone and state your name and municipality for the record. Can I get a motion to open the floor for public comment? Okay, Commissioner Henderson, a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain. Okay, the floor is open.
Ken Collins, Andover. Phillipsburg's announcement that 33 acres along the Delaware River, once slated for another massive warehouse, will instead be preserved through New Jersey's Green Acres program was certainly cause for celebration, but illustrates a troubling pattern. New Jersey's warehouse problem is largely an entanglement of political power connected to private firms who depend on overdevelopment and our public resources. Real estate moguls hold vast tracts of land hostage in undesirable condition until they can build a warehouse or pay themselves with our money to preserve it. These preservation deals are sometimes announced right before Election Day by the same actors driving the crisis. When the same political actors and firms who nurture warehouse proposals are praised for doing the right thing by stopping them just before Election Day, ask yourself, was this preservation or political theater? They win, the public loses. While technically legal, is it moral or ethical? In 2023, nearly 600 acres of farmland in White Township were bought from Mr. Jandel, a land baron billionaire, for roughly $27.4 $1.4 million in tax dollars, allegedly to stop construction of millions of square feet of warehouse complex, but $48,000 an acre is a very generous price to pay for farmland. After 4 years of citizen opposition, local Republican state officials suddenly broke their silence about White Township's situation to appear at a press conference announcing the land preservation right before their last election. The core issue is conflicts of interest. Steinhardt and Perucci are partners in a law firm that specialize in business related to warehouses and profits from overdevelopment of warehouses. Perucci is the landowner and owns Perrone Construction at the center of the Howard Street warehouse controversy. Those who challenge Perucci fear retaliation and harassment. Council President Marino was threatened over the warehouse issue, and two of his fellow Republican council members resigned, citing a lack of integrity in local government related to the bullying typical in Phillipsburg's political organizations and to the developers and career politicians who control the town for their own self-interests. Local politics are ultimately shaped by deep state Republican Party boss Doug Steinhardt, Warren County Republican Committee chairman with strong influence over who gets political support and who sits on local land use boards, whose own chief of staff, Chris Allen, voted for the unpopular warehouse going up in Belvedere. The political pattern's obvious. Land speculators and their allies in government sit on neglected open space, allowing it to decay until local powers that be accept a warehouse. When residents object, they're forced to fight to protect their neighborhoods and futures. Then once public pressure peaks, the political machine pivots, arranging a preservation deal that spends millions in state funds to buy back what was already ours. A hostage scheme where the taxpayers pay their own ransom. The cost of this corruption? New Jersey's disappearing farmland, over 22,000 acres lost in just 5 years, and how many in Sussex? What needs to change is our political system currently run by Doug Steinhardt. We need stronger conflict of interest laws and full public disclosure. Developer-connected law firms should not be permitted to hold influence over boards that decide projects they could profit from. You cannot count on state reps like Doug Steinhardt to fight warehouse developers for you because he's clearly the embodiment of both. Replace Florio, Perucci, Steinhardt, Capelli, and Tipton as the county's attorneys. Thank you.
Jean Apriage, Hampton Township. There are so many issues, major issues going on in the world, from the war in Iran to the threat of disenfranchisement of millions of U.S. citizens in the SAVE Act. However, the topic I will speak about tonight is local and directly affects everyone in this room. There is a MAGA supporter who regularly claims at these meetings that our peaceful group of indivisible Sussex members are violent and nasty. In fact, the opposite is true. We are the ones who hold peaceful protests in support of our neighbors and engage in activities every day that give back to our community. We are a joyful and peaceful group, and our members steadfastly believe in human rights and respecting everyone, even those who disagree with us. It is the MAGA members of this community who are dangerous and threatening. I'll remind you that at the last meeting, they were the ones who had to be told to be courteous and stop interrupting other speakers. They are the ones who create chaos by driving around the green and on Route 10 in Roxbury, yelling profanities and threatening protesters with their cars. They are the ones driving too close, yelling and whistling at us, flashing ICE paraphernalia in an antagonistic manner, and provoking us by playing the song Ice, Ice Baby in their stereo in their cars after these meetings. Perhaps some of the sheriff's officers who are here tonight should monitor the parking lot after these meetings to ensure that our peaceful members are not harassed by antagonistic MAGA attendees. Mind you, these are also the people who complain about the expense to the county when we protest on the green, yet these are the ones who create a situation where security is necessary. Further, their behavior and spouting of the regime's lies are increasingly unpopular messages. The more they spread hate and defend a pedophile, the less support they have across the nation. Do you really want to be associated with that animus and ignorance, or will you take a stand on the right side of history and educate your constituents about what is true and just? We also heard an attendee warning us of dark threats and urging us to educate ourselves about the powers behind what is occurring in the world. I agree, there are dark powers that are creating a new world order. That dark threat put limits on our right to free speech, started a war in Iran, locks up innocent people in concentration camps, proudly displays the Confederate flag, gutted the cybersecurity and counterintelligence agencies in the federal government, and is trying to take away our right to vote. I agree we should educate ourselves by reading legitimate news sources and sharing accurate information with the county. Tonight, you will hear well-researched, fact-based, and accurate speeches from indivisible Sussex members. Please listen carefully.
Good evening. My name is Miguel Manalo Hapatcong. I'm happy to share some activities that Indivisible Sussex has been engaged in to support our community and protect our democracy. At every meeting and rally we attend, we collect food and household necessities and distribute them to pantries across the county. We volunteer at food pantries such as the Weekend Backpack Program, Benny's Bodega, and Salt and Light Hope Market, and several others across the county. We volunteer at local farms through the Food Shed Alliance and help distribute fresh food at pop-up markets here in Newton. Last spring and fall, we volunteered at Stokes State Forest and the School of Conservation for their cleanup days and will do so again this coming spring. We encourage members to express themselves through the arts, hosting art shows and a singing group to lift each other's spirits through song and creativity. We educate, and educate some more. We conduct voter registration drives and talk with local youth about issues that matter to them, encouraging them to use their voice and their vote to protect their current and future interests. We host seminars on civics, democracy, immigration, and historical topics, inviting experts in the field, such as history professors, political analysts, and community activists who share their knowledge and answer participants' questions about these critical issues. We participate in book clubs studying history and the Constitution. From well-researched books such as We the People by historian Jill Lepore and On Tyranny by Tim Snyder. We educate citizens about their rights by distributing Know Your Rights cards and copies of the Constitution. We host training sessions to ensure rally attendees create a safe and secure protest environment while exercising their right to assemble and free speech. Sussex Indivisible is a growing group in our community. We are focused on positive efforts to support our community and protect our democracy. We invite you all to join us in our activities that provide joy, a sense of agency and education, and basic necessities to our fellow community members. Thank you.
My name is Sierra Wilson. I live in Bud Lake. I have an address in Stanhope, which is in Sussex County. I wasn't actually intending to speak today, but the young lady that went before me did mention that this is an unsafe environment, and I do have to agree. So I would like to formally request that a police officer, be stationed in the parking lot. I personally have come here a few times, and each time I have spoken, I have been accosted in the parking lot. It is just a fact. I've been accosted by people behind me, people that may not be here tonight. I haven't looked. I have been nearly hit by a car. I have been accidentally bumped into while someone held an ICE badge in their hand. I have had a man scream at me and get in my face, all while I was standing with a group of young ladies. I am committed to nonviolence. I don't even like to shout or to raise my fist or anything like that. No one here deserves to be screamed at in the parking lot. No one deserves to nearly be hit by a car. That's just a fact. I assume all of you agree with me here. And for the safety of all of the people in the audience here, not just me, not just the side that I sat on, I do request that a police officer be placed in the parking lot because it is, at this point, unsafe. I don't want any situation to occur where someone may be hit by a car or someone may escalate a situation that doesn't need to be escalated. So I would appreciate if a police officer, for everyone's safety, including my own, be placed, because I don't want to get bumped into anymore. I don't want a man screaming at my face because I quoted Dachau. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Ma'am, I just want to confirm all of your stated activities that occurred in the parking lot of the county. Okay. I just wanted to confirm, that's all.
The entrance there.
Thank you. We can arrange for a sheriff's officer to go down, right? Then we don't have to worry about any problems. Yeah. So if one of you guys could go down at the end of the meeting for me, that would be great. Thank you.
Debbie Mello, Frieden Township. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. The sweat of workers, the genius of scientists, and the hopes of children would be better spent on schools, hospitals, roads, and homes than on armaments. World peace could be achieved not by weapons of war, but by wheat and cotton, by milk and by wool, by meat and by timber and by rice. This is a quote from Dwight D. Eisenhower, 34th President of the United States. Sussex County, as part of the current economic situation caused by the Trump administration, is in the throes of a food, clothing, and housing crisis. While this has been a concern over many years, everything is ramping up because of the cuts to programs that help people in need. There are nearly 30 food pantries in Sussex County, and they continue to grow. More organizations and religious groups are stepping up to help these people. As part of Indivisible's mission, members recently assisted in packing food for weekend lunch in a bag. This is a program initiated by two sisters of high school age who saw a need in Sussex County. Their entire family have embraced and sustained this program with help from outside food suppliers and the general public. Every week, this family and volunteers pack and distribute food for students who attend many of the schools in Sussex County. It is an eye-opening experience to see these people in action. With the many community and service activities that the county commissioners take part in, I would encourage you to check out this amazing operation if you haven't already. It gives back to our communities throughout the county. Perhaps it would be worth a photo op for you to volunteer for this worthwhile program. I also encourage you to check out the good that the people of Sussex County are doing for their communities. Step up and be a part of the solution. Thank you.
Oregon from Hampton Township. Speaking, so I'm a little. All right. So with all the divisiveness in the country right now, I wanted to share a few thoughts. I believe there should be common ground among most Americans that we can agree on certain things. That we have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights for a reason. Process. Deportation of violent illegal immigrants campaigned on. That is not, in reality, what's happening. Unauthorized immigrants make up roughly 27% of the total foreign-born population in the United States, 4.1% of the total U.S. population. Data from February 2026 shows 73% of ICE detainees had no criminal convictions, often held for civil violations such as overstaying or entering without authorization, not for criminal offenses. Violations. Today's the amount of time on a visa is not committing a crime. So is a parking meter. So is staying at a parking meter beyond the time you paid, and that's not a criminal offense. Data indicates that approximately 40 to 55% of all ICE at-large arrests involve individuals with record. 5 to 14% of people detained by ICE have convictions for violent crimes. Late 2025, 70% of individuals deported from ICE custody had no criminal convictions. The main issue is not that violent illegal immigrants should not be deported. It's methods that are being used indiscriminately don't determine who is legal. As thugs, not obtaining warrants, racially profiling people,
excessive force, ignoring civil and human rights, ignoring
1 minute.
process and the laws of land, terrorizing communities, and targeting blue states. Possible for me to ever understand how anyone could support and excuse any of these tactics. Both Democratic and Republican presidents deported following the law, instead of by poorly trained masked thugs who terrorized communities, targeted the violent criminals who were were done following legal protocols and laws and not by illegal and unconstitutional methods that are being used by the Trump administration and his ICE goons. Domestic terrorists are the ICE agents. No one is disputing the need that we need to revise our immigration policies. No one is suggesting violent, illegal immigrants by immigrants who pay taxes and contribute to our economy. We have immigrants who are law-abiding citizens, good neighbors, and friends. They should not be targeted and terrorized. I'm asking you as our county current leadership to think about this and adjust your moral compass.
Sandy Hull, Layton, New Jersey. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board. The Delaware Water Gap Defense Fund has opposed the National Park and Preserve designation for the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area since 2022, 5 wonderful, fun-filled years. The consistent support and encouragement from Assemblywoman Fantasia, Assemblyman Ganamort, and Senator Space has helped to keep this issue on the front burner in the New Jersey Assembly. Their opposing resolution has been reintroduced to the Assembly and Senate once again, and this year, I hope to see a vote supporting our opposition to the National Park designation. This resolution will serve as a clear condemnation of any attempts to change the recreation area to a national park, and their concern and assistance in this issue is greatly appreciated. Senator Steinhardt from Legislative District 23 has stood with us in our opposition as well. He took the lead in arranging a meeting with Assembly Speaker Coughlin in February, and I was able to meet with our state I was able to meet with the speaker and state our case with the speaker in Trenton. The Defense Fund greatly appreciates Senator Steinhardt's efforts on our behalf, and I want to personally thank you for extending that olive branch. It was a great experience for me to meet him as well. We continue to communicate with Congressman Gottheimer and Kane and work for congressional protections. It's worth mentioning that political aisles have been crossed as members of both parties work together to protect the Delaware and the surrounding communities. And I want to thank this Board of Commissioners for your continued support as well. I'm hoping that before I hit 80, we will have this done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kathy Brennan, Hampton Township. I'd like to speak about the term concentration camp. This term goes back as far as 1895 during the Cuban insurrection and was also used when the U.S. operated camps during the Philippine-American Wars, as well as during World War II when there was internment of Japanese. So this term is not necessarily just referenced to the Nazi Holocaust. That would be historically incorrect to say that was the only usage. Andrea Pritza, author of A Global History of Concentration Camps, defines these camps as sites of mass detention of civilians based on identity, national origin, citizenship, ethnicity, without trial and no criminal misconduct. Our state senator and assembly people wrote a letter to the Sussex County Education Association asking them to withdraw their endorsement for the upcoming No Kings rally in Newton based on their disapproval of the term concentration camp used by some to basically describe what is going to be going on in the Roxbury warehouse. The association responded with factual history and assessments made by Harvard Law, Physicians for Human Rights, the UN, and over 400 Holocaust scholars who agreed that what DHS and ICE are currently doing can be correctly termed as concentration camps due to the rounding up of innocents based on ethnicity, and they're not being given their rights and their basic inhumane treatment. This should give us all cause to evaluate the situation in order to prevent the past from repeating itself again. There are none so blind as those who refuse to see what's going on.
Hey, Lafayette, no German tonight. Guten Abend. I was thinking about the slogan America First, and I've been waiting to see if this administration would ever actually start putting the American people first. Why is there no money for healthcare, no money for education, no money for infrastructure, affordable housing, for our veterans, for the homeless, no money to protect our environment? It appears there is never any money for the problems that Americans actually need solved, but there is always money for a war. We are burning through $891.4 million per day on this war in Iran. That is over $10.7 billion in 12 days. $10.7 billion. We, the people, we, the taxpayers, are paying for this insanity, and it will cost us dearly. Many people that voted for Trump are finally beginning to question whether or not Trump is truly trying to make life better for the American people. How is this America First? How? There has been much confusion within Trump's administration as to whether or not this is even a war. The word war is purposely being avoided because they know it is deeply unpopular with Americans. An avoidance of the word war is this administration's attempt to evade responsibility and to seek glory. My message to the American Department of Defense: there is no glory in war. I refuse to call it the Department of War because that's what this administration wants, war. There is no glory in war, only bloodshed, only trauma, despair, and inhumanity. In recent decades, Americans have gone to war 3 times in the Middle East. How many of these wars have enriched and helped the lives of American people? How many of these wars have brought peace, freedom, liberation, and prosperity to the countries involved? The answer is none. But how many of these wars have cost us billions, left our troops and innocent civilians dead and maimed? How many, and suffering from long-term physical and emotional trauma? The answer is all. So since they started this war, the president and his administration have come up with an astonishing array of different and contradictory rationales for the attack on Iran. Many of these explanations are based on false premises. Some of these explanations have already been abandoned, and here are a few. Are we going to war because of regime change? They said that. Are we going to war because of assistance to the oppressed peoples of Iran? They said that. Are we going to war to stop the nuclear program? They said that. That being said, Trump ordered strikes in June of 2025 to target Iranian nuclear facilities at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Trump stated to the American public that they were all obliterated, so the problem's been solved. So wait a minute, the question now looms large. Were they or weren't they obliterated, President Trump? I am asking you this. No one knows, apparently not even our president, why we're starting this and what's going on. Doesn't it worry you that our president can't explain why he started this war? Doesn't it worry you that our president initiated strikes without formal approval from Congress? And how can you win a war if you can't explain why you started it? What is the goal here other than dead troops, rapidly rising gas prices, and more instability?
Hard act to follow. Christine Henry, Vernon, New Jersey. I appreciate your service. I do. I'd like to talk about the SAVE Act, especially since the last time I was here, 2 commissioners expressed your support of this legislation. The legislation claims it's in support of voter identification. It sounds simple on the surface. It sounds like something everybody can get behind. But the bill is not about voter identification. The stated goal of the SAVE Act is to prevent non-citizens from voting in federal elections. So let's begin there. It is already illegal for non-citizens to vote. Individuals registering to vote already attest and show documentation under penalty of perjury that they are U.S. citizens. Registered voters have already proven their citizenship. This bill would simply make it harder to exercise that right. Even organizations that argue voter fraud exists have documented extremely small numbers. The Heritage Foundation, which is a right-wing organization, think tank, claims in its voter fraud database about 1,400 proven fraud cases across multiple decades. Let's put that into context. Billions of ballots have been cast in U.S. elections during that time, 1,400 fraudulent out of billions. Across numerous studies, audits, and investigations, fraud occurs in less than 1% of the votes. Most estimates put it at thousandth of a percent and even millionths of 1%. Typical cases involve dozens of incidents among millions of ballots. Yikes. Go fast. Repeating doubts about election integrity without evidence is not public service, it is public political rhetoric. It sows doubt in our election process that has been secure for 2.5 centuries. Let's call it what it is. It is an effort to disenfranchise millions of voters. If various documents are required, it could create unnecessary barriers to participation in democracy. But perhaps that's the point. I'm going to cut out some things here. It could end up discouraging legitimate voters rather than stopping the extremely rare cases of non-citizen voting. When registration becomes more complicated or intimidating, some people simply choose not to participate. Even small barriers, extra paperwork, document requires, or uncertainty can reduce turnout. It would create unnecessary barriers to participation in democracy. But then maybe that's the point.
Good evening. My name is David DeWitt. I'm from Hampton Township. Since I've been coming here week after week, I have repeatedly asked that you consider the issues, speak up, and tell the truth. I fully realize doing so means crossing that political line between Democrat and Republican, putting your personal, current, and future political fortunes in jeopardy. But that line has become more than an impediment to ideological and policy differences. That line is this century's Maginot Line. Cross it and you die. Speak up and you face party ejection, character assassination, legal and financial persecution, the Liz Cheney treatment. The Republican Party line has been crafted into a wall of lies, illegal actions, and incompetence created by the Trump criminal, sitting on his golden throne, extruding foul garbage and excrement with every breath. He must not only be endured, but cheered by his acolytes. One false move and you go beneath the waves. At the State of the Union address, he brags about shutting down USAID, starving hundreds of thousands of children to death, pushing 2.4 million off food stamps, the SNAP program. You, as Republicans, must stand clapping with gusto at these most wonderful accomplishments. You are expected to join the J6 delusion of the big lie. The big lie has grown so robust that it is a movement all of its own. You now must pass voter suppression legislation to disenfranchise an estimated 21 million voters. Hand over your voter data for cleaning. Wish for and welcome armed masked goons to police our polls in the future. All Republican zealots are expected to search the Epstein files for child rapists at the behest of the rapist in chief, the Trump criminal. When cheering is not demanded, silence is expected, as the Trump criminal bribes, extorts, and steals every financial asset he can. I could go on and on and on. You are our elected representatives. We expect more from you than just business as usual. Tell the truth, speak up. You can hold true to your moral beliefs and work to achieve your political objectives and goals, but stay with this corrupt and evil cult and you will go down with the ship. Tell the truth, speak up. Just say, this is not right. Say it with me. This is not right. It's wrong. It's evil. No? Good luck at the polls.
John Snyder, Sanderston. Wow. Talk about hate speech. Trump derangement syndrome. It's on display here tonight. You disagree with them, you're evil. You're going down with the ship. Someone just mentioned that the SAVE Act will stop 21 million people from voting. I assume those are illegal voters. Someone else said we had 1,400 over the last 5 decades or something. So what is it? 21 million's got to be the illegals. They shouldn't be voting. We talked about the state budget of $60.7 billion. Since 2019, the spending at the state level, 37.2 billion, 37.1, 42.9, 50, 48.8, 53, 56.9, and last year, 58.8, constantly going up. I don't care if you tell me it's a small percentage, it's constantly going up. I think Keogh Dwyer, is that the name of the jail, the building? It hasn't been discussed here in a while, but I would like to suggest that we look into using that as an ICE detention center. Maybe we can get some money from the federal government to use it. We won't have people eating crackers off the floor like was attested to last meeting. But I can see the facility is ready to go. Maybe we can get some revenue from it. I, for one, I'm not an NIMBY person, not in my backyard. I see nothing wrong with it. The facility is all right there being wasted. And maybe we can use some of the space where we're talking about the county prosecutor, some of the offices that they wanted. I'd like to thank President Trump for having the guts to do something which has been boiling for 47 years. How many Americans have either been killed directly by the Iranians or indirectly through their sponsorship of worldwide terror? Maybe if something like this had been done in 1936, 37, 38 with Hitler, maybe World War II never would have happened. But who wants to take a chance? This theocracy-controlled government getting their hands on nuclear weapons, especially when they have long-range missiles that won't just affect the Middle East, but can affect us also. So I don't know about our local Congressman Gottheimer, but I think it's some information about a MAGA congressman from South Jersey, Jeff Andrew, and I have his contact information here regarding the jail if someone, maybe Christina Marks or somebody from the office wants to contact him. Thank you and God bless America.
Sandy Pender, Frieden Township. Before I start, I just want to say thank you for plugging our county library system. They are phenomenal. The librarians are incredible. Books have a wonderful way of allowing us to dive deep into other people's experiences. I just finished a young adult fiction novel entitled Lawn Boy. The book is a lesson in class structure and how it relates to money and power. It is a study of the working class versus the wealthy, the haves and the have-nots. The main character is a 20-something Mexican-American man working tirelessly to achieve the American dream. Towards the end of the book, the main character has a major conflict with a man he works for, a wealthy real estate broker. When I read the page, it slapped me in the face. This one page truly encapsulated the people we currently have in power and their behavior. I would like to read it. And just like that, he turned and started walking toward his condo. He didn't even look back. That's when I realized what I should have realized years ago, that there were people in this world who either had no conscience or just severe memory deficits tailored to their convenience. I could see the advantage of either one immediately. Yet both ideas were abhorrent to me. Either you didn't care or you chose not to care. The way I see it, you've got to be accountable or you're nothing. Without personal accountability, you could talk yourself into anything. You could leave rubble in your wake and never look back. That could mean wars, genocide, ecological disasters. And what for? What was the advantage? Our president and his cabinet don't care or choose not to care about the consequences of their behavior. They have no personal accountability. They take no ownership for themselves or their actions. The short list of the people they don't care about or choose not to care about are the Epstein survivors, immigrants here legally or not, peaceful protesters illegally shot in the face and the back, the LGBTQ+ community, all of the civil servants who Elon Musk and Doge axed, our armed forces. Our president can't even articulate why we started a war and why he is putting our troops in harm's way. And finally, the American people. We are constantly lied to by this administration, and the policies they put forth are not to our benefit. This administration needs to be held accountable, period. So I will ask all of you, as I always do, as citizens and elected leaders, what actions will you take to see that people in power act appropriately and in the best interest of citizens? What action will you take to demand accountability?
Just Layton, New Jersey. I think President Trump is great. I think everything he's doing is wonderful. I'm very proud to be an American. I want all the illegals out, and I want the people who were there at the State of the Union when Trump was presiding over, and all the Democrats who sat on their hands, shame on every single one of them when they did not say they would support legal Americans over the illegal people. Shame on them for supporting the wrong group. Thank you.
Good evening, Nina Fradel Montague. Ice, Ice Baby. Wow. I guess I missed a really good meeting, your last meeting. I'm sorry I wasn't here. Seems like it was quite contentious. I don't know, free speech, Ice, Ice Baby. I'd like to share some remarks with you from General Mike Flynn. It's interesting because I think other people would agree with some of these things. We just don't agree on where the problem is and what the source of the problem is. What's happening in America right now is not politics as usual. It's not a policy disagreement or a pendulum swing between parties. It's something far more deliberate, far more coordinated, and far more dangerous. For decades, a slow and methodical dismantling of the systems, institutions, and cultural foundations that have held this republic together for nearly 2.5 centuries has been underway. It has been executed through elections, through the courts, through the media, through academia, and through the administrative machinery of the federal government itself. The American people are beginning to see it clearly. Dissenting voices have been censored. Federal law enforcement elements have been weaponized against political opponents. Elections have been manipulated through lawfare, mail-in ballot expansion, and the systematic erosion of voter ID protections. Open border policies have fundamentally altered the demographic and economic landscape of entire states. Corporate media and major technology platforms have been captured by a now ideological class determined to control what information reaches the public. The founders understood that Republicans don't fall overnight. They are hollowed out gradually from within by those who understand that controlling institutions is more powerful than winning elections. That is precisely what has been executed against the American people over the last several decades. The question is whether enough Americans will recognize the moment they're living in, rise to meet it, and refuse to stand down. Understanding the overflow is the first step to stopping it. The Constitution is not a suggestion, and neither is the will of the American people. Concentration camp, no illegal activity, but they're here illegally. That's the first illegal activity that they're engaged in, the illegal aliens that are in this country. They broke the law. How much money for illegal aliens? Registered voters have proven, have voted. I mean, registered voters polling said, thank you.
My name is Claire Golden. I'm from Andover Township. I just wanted to make a few general comments. This is my first time attending this particular meeting, and it's given me a lot of food for thought on both sides. But one of the first things that I would like to say is that the use of the term illegal when referring to people who are undocumented aliens in this country is inaccurate. I am the descendant of undocumented immigrants. The only reason they're not illegal immigrants is because there was no law at the time that they migrated to escape famine in Ireland. Everybody sitting here is the descendant of an alien who came to this country, unless you're Native American. We are a nation of immigrants. We are built on immigrants. Immigrants are the backbone of our workforce. I've worked for many, many years in hospitals. Go to a nursing home. Look at the aides taking care of our elderly. They're all immigrants, and they're all fleeing. More than 1,000 nurses have fled to Canada and given up, thrown in the towel, because it's getting really bad to work in a hospital or in healthcare. There is no help, and it will cause people to die. Our farmers are going to suffer with a lack of people. How many in this room are willing to pick strawberries in the sun for less than $1 an hour? How many people's children have been cared for by illegal, but really undocumented, peaceful immigrants? Immigrants provide more than $3 billion in tax revenue to the United States, and they are not qualified and they do not apply for it. They are, no, you'd be crazy to try to vote illegally if you are a non-citizen. It's just not worth it. Your one vote isn't going to make a difference, and you're not going to risk being arrested and put in prison for it. So it's a farce. It's just a lie. And as far as the SAVE Act is, it's not the Save America, it's the Destroy America Act. It violates all of our constitutional rights. It puts barriers to voting that are insurmountable. And the 21 million people that will be disenfranchised are not the non-citizens. They are the poor. They are the working class. And they are the women of this country. The poorer people will not be able to afford to get a passport, to pay the fee to get their search down and take a day off to get their birth certificate. So they will not vote. If you,
Fine.
okay.
Good evening. Kevin O'Leary from Lafayette Township Committee. I just want to share an update. I've been on the phone with the New Jersey DOT Engineering Office. Everyone knows the bridge on Route 15 by the Lafayette Pond needs to be replaced. The work was supposed to have been done by now, but we had a delay in the fall because of some utility relocation that was not done. The latest I have as far as major traffic interruption is that we'll have one lane in each direction starting May 12th through June 5th. That's when they're going to put in the temporary bridge. Obviously, this is not, we're not happy about it because we have the 250th anniversary or the birthday of United States. We have a lot of things we're trying to do at the pond. And we've also been told that the second closure of that alternating traffic pattern will be from September 28th to October 2nd, which is a shorter time than the original timeline had been told to us originally when this project was supposed to start last year. So we have a meeting scheduled with the DOT, state police, a couple of our EMT people and such on Tuesday at, I think it's at 12 o'clock. So we're going to get a lot more answers, and we're going to ask them to firm up this timeline. But it should, I've been trying to get the word out that this is coming, and, so people know about it. And then just from my personal opinion, I just want to commend the Commissioner Board for rethinking the jail and doing a study on the feasibility of using it for county facilities. I think it was long something that we should have been looked at as opposed to trying to sell it. I think it makes much more sense with some of the status and the condition of some of our facilities, particularly the prosecutor's office and a couple other places around. That's an asset to the town or to the county, and it should be refurbished into some space. Thank you.
Hey, Mayor, just real quick, those dates that you gave, is that weather pending? Did they say anything about weather?
That's what they told us was in play right now. It could change. I'm going to firm that up on Tuesday.
Okay, I will too, so I'll be there. Thanks.
Frankfurt Township. Quite overwhelming. If somebody is lying to themselves, that's not going to understand. Going back to 63 with JFK, was assassinated. Ask not what you can do, what the government can do for you, but ask what you can do for the country. I find this division here is overwhelming for me. We have a duly elected president. I didn't see any assassinations, although I completely disagreed with Obama and Biden, but I didn't see assassination attempts on him. And food pantry, that's another thing. If a man doesn't want to sweep a floor, wash dishes, clean toilets, he can go get all the free food he wants and bring the whole family there. It was very different when I was growing up. My dad would have never went there to one of the pantries. And when I worked in Newark, when I was a steel worker, I was unemployed and I had to stand in line in middle Newark with a bunch of people. It was very degrading. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to get some part-time work before I go back to work. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Andrea Harmon, Andover Township. Also Trump. I'm very thankful that he's gone in and done what he had to do to protect these people. I can't imagine what these No Kings rallies, if they were protesting in Greentown, right here in the town, if someone came in and just shot them all up for protesting, because that's what's happening to these people over there. We hear about 30,000, it's way over that. They cut down communication. We don't even know how many people are just shot for protesting. So if that's what you stand for. Also, as far as, we had a lot more deportation as far as with Obama and Biden, and I don't know if people came here and were protesting at that time, but it's been going on for a long time. And right now, it's just to keep our jobs. We had to prove that we had vaccinations. Nothing is proof, but these people coming over now, just sneaking over the border, they could work, they could do whatever, but no proof of any kind of health care or background checks. We have over 300,000 children who are missing, who are sex trafficked. We need to be documenting more. I can't think of one country that I would go in and not have to prove that some kind of documentation to stay there. No one allows you to do that. I don't know why they're thinking here it's okay. I had more to say, but I'm going to. Thank you very much.
Just want to clarify, when you mentioned the 30,000 people in the violence, you were referencing Iran. Is that what you were?
Yes, I'm
talking about?
sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, can I get a motion to close the floor for public comment? And return
Second.
to regular business? Okay, Commissioner Silverthorne and Deputy Director Deputy Director DeGroot seconds it. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain. Number 23. Oh, yeah, you want to?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
thanks for the deferral. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you for the deferral. I thought I might have something to add to my report, but it turns out I don't. Just that we have a settlement agreement to review an executive session. It should be brief. It's from a personnel suit in the prosecutor's office that has been settled, subject to your guys' review, and then we'd have to come out and put the agreement on the record. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Number 23, please check the county's website at www.sussex.nj.us for meeting schedules, and it's all you, Linda.
Resolution providing for an executive closed session not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12 et sec. Whereas the subject matter about to be discussed may be excluded from the public portion of the meeting by resolution of the Board of County Commissioners as an exception to the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, and whereas it appears necessary for the Board of County Commissioners to discuss such matters in executive session. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Sussex, in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12B and NJSA 10:4-13, that the board at this time enter into an executive session from which the public shall be excluded, and be it further resolved that the general nature of the subject to be discussed relate to the following items authorized by NJSA 10:4-12B as designated below. Number 7, matters relating to litigation, negotiations, and the attorney-client privilege. Perez Rueda. Be it further resolved that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Sussex County Board of County Commissioners, or provided by law that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality, and be it further resolved that upon completion of the business for which the board has entered into the executive session, the board shall reconvene and resume its meeting open to the public, and be it further resolved that the board expects to
May
take formal action after returning from executive session, except to adjourn the regular meeting.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt the executive session resolution and enter into executive session?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Henderson.
Second.
Commissioner Silverthorne, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Oppose, abstain.